Yo, what's up, everybody? Super two. Okay, bro, another video for this Thursday morning for y'all, man. Breaking news, man. Breaking news, man. Okay, three Memphis police officers were found and they not guilty of the murder of Tyre Nichols until I think it was like acquitted for the murder until they had beat and sprayed the dude Tyre Nichols, back when in year 2023 uh to where I think Tyre Nichols was like, was on traffic stop to where he was, until I think he was arrested for traffic stop to where he, had fled until where the cops had trying to beat him up, man. I don't know, I guess he beat him up. Yeah, I think our five officers was arrested at the time for beating up on Tyre Nichols to where he had sprayed to where like, the one that sprayed the dude in the face to where I think had beat him with I think a baton to where he had died and in how they were charged with murder and but yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that I think justice wasn't served, man. I feel like justice was not served to where 3 or 5 officers were charged with this type of crime. But I feel like they got off the charge of murder in their head. But I do feel that family of Tyre Nichols felt kind of like upset, man, to where I think 3 other dudes, the officer was on trial. So I think the other one, I think all 3 men were found not guilty of the death of Tyre Nichols to where I think. So I this is so I think someone's yeah. So I believe some sources on news said that he dude had fled from the officers until they try to put him over and how he fled from the car and but things happened to where he he got beat up by the cops and they trying to have him I think return to something I think he had got beat up and he how he died and but he's sad, man, to where he said that to where his family probably I don't know. I think the family of Tyre Nichols doesn't have no justice right now because his son had, I don't know. I believe that own son had died due to a type of, I think, police brutality going on to where I think police. So I feel like I think police. So I feel like I think police. So I think police. I don't know. I feel like I think police brutality is kind of like wrong in America to where somebody who gets beat by cops and they dying and how to get killed by the officers and But I think police brutality can be a wrong thing to like deal with, man. Especially if you're a black person. I think in America we get razzed by the cops and razzed, beat up by the cops, and but I feel like Lieutenant Nichols had I think fled from the scene until he had got ambushed and got beat on by the cops and all. So yeah, I'm sure y'all did all clip for y'all. So much y'all like, comment, and try some peace. I'm out here. Take care and peace.
Memphis police officers have just been acquitted of state charges in the 2023 fatal beating of Tyre Nichols. He is the 29-year-old who fled during a traffic stop and whose beating by officers was caught on camera. The defendants were found not guilty of second-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated kidnapping. They do still face the prospect of years in prison after they were convicted of federal charges last year. 2 other officers involved in the incident have agreed to plead guilty to state charges. They are not standing trial under deals that they struck with prosecutors. Here's a statement from the Nichols family's legal team. It says, quote, "Today's verdicts are a devastating miscarriage of justice. The world watched as Tyre Nichols was beaten to death by those sworn to protect and serve. That brutal, inhumane assault was captured on video, yet the officers responsible were acquitted. Tyre's life was stolen, and his family was denied the justice they so deeply deserve. We are outraged, and we know we are not alone."
Man, it's sad, man. To the family of the victim, they some help justice, man. But I don't know. I feel like I think 5 or 3, officers was I think found out guilty of murder to where they found out guilty, and I feel like it's kind of sad, man, to where the whole America. I don't know. I think I seen the whole video. I saw the video back a couple of years ago to where I saw Nichols was got pulled over and how he fled and to where the cops had beat him up, man, to where he had got I think brutally beat the man by 5 outside there, man, to where they trying to stop on his head, beat him up and with a baton and they trying to beat him I guess severely and how he died and but I feel like that I think it's not injustice going on. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that it wasn't a type of justice of the family victim who died, But I feel like people out here nowadays getting off with murder, man, to where they getting off with murder. Cops, are like, I mean, so cops can get away with murder, man. I feel like some cops I think get away with murder if somebody trying to murder somebody who be, a black individual who is, out here, ain't do nothing innocent, man. But I believe these dudes are, I don't know, I feel like this dude, Tyre Nichols, was a black innocent dude who I think who was visually beaten on by 5 officers out there, but I feel like that, our 5 members of the force, I said 5 officers who was I think was got off the murder charge, so where they found out get to a murder of this dude, but man, it's sad to where I think there's no justice here, man. But I'm doing another audio clip, man. So make sure I like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. I'm out here. Take care and peace.
3 former Memphis police officers have just been acquitted of state charges in the 2023 fatal beating of Tyre Nichols. He is the 29-year-old who fled during a traffic stop and whose beating by officers was caught on camera. The defendants were found not guilty of second-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated kidnapping. They do still face the prospect of years in prison after they were convicted of federal charges.
Man, it's still sad, man. So, make sure I like, comment, subscribe. Peace. I'm out. Take care and peace.